Hey there, welcome to the sermon preview for this week. I'm glad you're taking a second to join me here today to prepare yourself for the sermon this coming Sunday. We are continuing on in our First Peter series called Living Hope, where our focus is how Jesus is our only true source of hope, no matter what situation that we face or what comes our way in our journey through life. And so last week, we talked about how we are supposed to be willing to follow Jesus wherever that takes us, whether that's suffering or even death. Be willing to follow God's will, not waste our time doing the things of the world. And so this week, this is the next passage. It's 1 Peter chapter 4, verses 7 through 11. And it kind of continues from that idea of like, if we are willing to follow Jesus, then do these things. And we see that it starts out with the end times are at hand. That's verse 7. The end times are at hand. Now, we have to ask ourselves the question, what does that mean? If Peter, who wrote this a couple thousand years ago, is saying the end times are at hand, and it's been 2,000 years and we haven't seen the end of the world yet, what is this supposed to mean? The end times are at hand. So we're going to look a little bit deeper into that to see what Peter might have meant. What does that mean for us here today? And then Peter essentially gives 4 commands or directives to the people that he's writing to his readers. Do these 4 things. If the end times are at hand, do these 4 things. And so I'd encourage you to read this passage, see if you can pick those 4 things out. See if you can pick those 4 things out and see how they apply to your life. And then we see the goal, the end goal, is listed in verse 11. It talks about that God may be glorified in everything through Jesus Christ. So we've got the end times at hand, and we've got these 4 commands, and we do these 4 things in order that God might be glorified. So we're going to dig a lot deeper into each of those things, into the end times thing, into each of those 4 commands, and into the end goal as well. We're going to dig deep into all of those things. So as you are reflecting on this, as you're reading this passage and thinking about it, I'd like for you to think about this idea of what are things in your life that are giving God glory? Or are there things that are not giving God the glory? So how is everything in your life focused on God's glory? Are you living for that one goal, or are there other things in your life that you're living for? So think about that as you read this passage and reflect on it, preparing yourself for Sunday. Just one note as we look at Sunday, it's October 1st, which is World Communion Sunday, which means there's people all over the world that are participating and receiving communion all at the same time on the same day. It's a wonderful thing to participate in, and so we will be participating in World Communion Sunday. There is a meal to follow, a fellowship meal to follow. Bring a dish to share. Come enjoy fellowship and time together as we celebrate what Jesus has done through communion and sharing a meal together after Sunday school. So really looking forward to Sunday. It should be an incredible Sunday. We'll see you there.